So it was the day my EFT Japanese Fire Bellied Newt arrived. Arrived in the mail, overnight courier in New Zealand, and it got here in time, so happy with that. Now let's see and take a look inside to see if he was packaged appropriately and got here safe. But first, I live in New Zealand. Exotic amphibians and reptiles are quite hard to get. Everything that's transported from the North to South Island essentially overnight is going to be done by aircraft. We do have an overnight service. We also have a pet bus that goes throughout the country. But all I could think about, and obviously like all reptile amphibian keepers, we're just stressing about our package. We're thinking, is it going to get to us safe, and is it going to arrive alive in one piece? Well, let's have a look. Alright, so I'm going to carefully and gently bring them up. I just got one Japanese Fire Bellied Newt for the sake of the terrarium that I built. I've got others already, and it was good to get it from another breeder up north so I can mix up the genetic lines eventually. Now look at this guy. Japanese Fire Bellied Newts are incredible animals. We get two species here in New Zealand, the Chinese and the Japanese being much larger in size, and the Japanese EFTs, or should I say younglings, they get this awesome orange stripe on the tail, and that's what really makes them stand out in the EFT phase, as well as when they're adults. They're a lot bumpier. The males have bright purple colorations on them, especially in breeding phases. But let's take a closer look at this guy. Now when you first get your newt, if you ever decide to get a newt, you'll be quite surprised that in this EFT phase, they're surprisingly arboreal, meaning they love to climb all the plants, they like to climb up the walls, basically showing you that they're more of a gecko if anything. Now newts in this phase are incredibly terrestrial, and as they get older, they will become more aquatic and slowly venture back into the water. This is the terrarium that I made for this little guy. I love playing and creating naturalistic environments for amphibians as best I can. So here I went for a riverbed, going to a forest, or a forest edge, going to the riverbed, just thinking about trying to mimic the newt's natural environment. There's a few different layers here, and hopefully this has created a lot of microclimates. We've got the water dish, we've got the riverbed with the pebbles, some spiderwood, some driftwood, some moss, and everything's natural, so everything's been planted. There's different layers. Now this terrarium is actually quite large for one Japanese EFT newt. You could easily fit 3 to 4 in here, and that might be something I might consider in the future. So what can you see here? You can see a slight slant where it goes from a higher area, higher ground with soil mixed with charcoal and sand, down to the riverbed, which is mainly just a bit of charcoal, a bit of sand as the, I guess, the base layer, as well as the pebbles on top, the river stones. Now there's also some isopods in there to help with odor and bacteria control. Otherwise guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. Stay tuned for the next one.